I think our next resource person has already joined, and I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of my college, Emerson College, the organizing committee, the co-sponsors, Cape Comorin Trust, Tamil Nadu. Uh, I would like to extend my welcome to Dr. Harshini Purushottam, who is working as an assistant professor at the Department of English, Athiraj College for Women in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. I welcome you, ma'am, to this session, and I thank you wholeheartedly for taking time of your schedule to deliver a very important topic, which is language correction tools, which are researchers, all researchers encounter when they are in research. Because ultimately, whatever your content is, whatever your theme or whatever your findings are in any, no matter in any discipline you are working, ultimately you got to find appropriate language for the ideas, for the arguments, and for the findings to convey. So Professor, Dr. Harshini Parshottam, ma'am, will be talking on an important topic on the, related to language correction tools. And ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Harshini Parshottam has completed her honors in English literature from STNB Vaishnav College, Krompat in Chennai. And following this, she did her professional degree course in library and information science from Madras University. Uh, she has shown immense love for language and literature, and that has driven her desire to pursue higher studies in English literature. Consequently, she completed her doctorate in English literature in the year 2015 from Presidency College, Chennai. She has been an active person in the research field and has contributed a lot to the development of research, mainly through her language skills. She has then, after completing her doctorate, she joined the Raja Rajeshwari Engineering College, Adalayam in 2006. In fact, she was already working in the college prior to her doctorate, and she continued working there till 2009. Even before her doctorate, she had been into the profession of teaching, and after her doctorate, she continues to be a very dedicated academician and is, as has been already mentioned, currently working as the postgraduate and research department of English at Ethiraj College for Women, Chennai. She is also a freelance editor and content writer, besides being an academician. She has had previously been the head of documentation and recruitment center at ARI, which is Advanced Research Institute, and is a premier wing of MGR University in Tamil Nadu. She is presently guiding a number of research scholars and is also a member in two prestigious institutions in Chennai. Recently, one of her research scholars at MGR University went on to win the Best Research Scholar Award at an international conference held in Coimbatore. She also has won many awards herself, including the Best Teacher Award by Manavar Ulam, Chennai, Campus Ambassador Award for her active role in the Institute's welfare and event coordinator awards for her enthusiastic role in conferences, workshops, and symposia. Uh, She has presented and published nearly 50 papers at in national and international level, and has edited and proofread more than 250 multidisciplinary theses, synopses, and research papers for academicians belonging to national and international institutions. She has also assisted in many patents and national and international projects. Many of her works have been successfully acknowledged and have good reach and access among the scholars who recommend her to students and researchers across the country. She is a content writer for many subjects and takes keen interest when it comes to writing in any form. She has done many roles, such as resource person, member in advisory board of international conferences session, and has chaired sessions in national and international conferences. She has posted nearly 45 informative videos on English literature in the Dr. MGR University Phase 2 Digital Learning YouTube channel. And of course, our students can access that too. She has also organized many webinars, e-workshops, e-FDPs, and virtual guest lectures. She's also a reviewer of for two international journals, one based in Canada and another based in Pakistan. She also holds the position of managing editor of Englishers International, based in Turkey. Now, besides all these achievements to her credit, she is also an avid reader and a Mehndi artist. Her two books on Mehndi designs were published by Book Palace Publication, New Delhi, and she has also participated in many Mehndi competitions, winning prizes each time. She has been she has acted as a judge at many national programs on language correction tool, and we look forward to gain from her immense expertise in the field today. I welcome you again, ma'am, and I will again request the participants to show keen patience and interest as you have till now, and that begins again by muting your microphones. I now hand over the session to Dr. Harshini. Over to you, ma'am, and thank you, and you may begin your presentation now.
Good evening, everyone. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, ma'am,
I
you're
hope
audible.
I'm audible.
If you
Thank you
can,
very much.
if you can
Yes,
put
ma'am,
on your
audible.
Okay. Thank you very much. So, thank you, Basrat Samim sir, for your warm introduction about me. And I should really thank the college as well as the Cape Comorin Trust for giving me an opportunity to present before you all today. That on a very special day, that is Women's Day. Sorry, I should be excused because my video is not working in my laptop, and so I have opened it in my mobile. So I don't think it will be a problem for you. But the thing is, the presentation matters. Okay.
It's okay,
So
ma'am.
now the thing is, today's topic is going to be a very, very important topic and also an interesting topic because uh, it is really important for every researcher to check their language errors once they complete their research papers or reports or thesis or whatever it is. But how far the online tools are useful, that is what I'm going to bring out in my presentation today. So give me a second to share my screen. Uh, is the presentation visible?
Yeah, ma'am, it's visible. You can
Thank
go
you
ahead.
very much, sir. Thank you. So the topic is language correction tools, and I'm the presenter. Okay. So now let me go for the introduction first. The language is an important facet of communication. Whatever is needed to be delivered to the audience can be done only through impeccable communication, be it spoken or written. You should definitely agree, you will definitely agree with me that when we need to deliver something to the audience, we need to have impeccable communication, either it is spoken or written. So this presentation is an attempt to help language learners, researchers understand the various online tools that help in producing flawless language in research writing. So there are numerous tools, and I'm going to give them here in the order of their importance. Okay, there may be quite many tools which I may not be knowing, but the top 10 to 12 tools I have brought in here. And I think with that, you people will be able to expand your knowledge to other tools also. Okay, so this is what is my introduction. and then see what are the errors. See, apart from bringing in language tools, I have also brought in important points what we need to do when editing or proofreading a thesis or research paper or whatever it is. So I just have made my presentation a little bit elaborate so that you people will understand everything related to language correction. Okay. So language errors types. The language errors can be broadly classified into 6 types. They are grammatical errors or usage errors, that is faulty, unconventional or controversial usage such as subject-verb disagreement or an inappropriate verb tense. Okay, see there will be a subject-verb disagreement is a common problem faced by most of the researchers. Many people will not be knowing how the verbs and subject agree with one another, and that is where they make a lot of mistakes. Okay, and then inappropriate verb tense, using the verb the wrong place. Okay, and then use of wrong preposition, then bringing in subjectivity and objectivity in writing, all these matters. Okay, then misspellings, wrong use of spelling. Maybe you people don't know any particular spelling and you just put it thinking that it will be right, but later it will show that it's a wrong spelling. And then typographical errors. Most of the documents are typed nowadays. Nobody does handwritten documents nowadays. So typographical errors are bound to occur. Some mistakes made in the typing process, such as simple duplication, the word repeats, then omission, some words get missed, then transposition or substitution of a small number of characters. So these are typographical errors, and then factual errors, mistakes made in specifying fact. Okay, then logical fallacies, errors of reasoning, and then faulty punctuation, errors in the use of spacing, conventional signs, and certain typographical devices as aids to the understanding and the correct reading, both silently and aloud, of handwritten and printed text. And also, as when I've corrected some documents, I would see that the punctuations would be wrongly used in many places. Okay, and but I don't want to deal elaborately here because my topic is related to language tools. Maybe next time I'll be able to bring in what type of mistakes the researchers do, especially when it comes to research writing. Okay, then so now we have come to the main major part of the topic, language checker tools and overview. So language checkers work by scanning through a typescript and providing instantaneous feedback on grammar, spelling, and punctuation errors. So it just scans the typescript, whatever you upload, it just scans the typescript and provides immediate feedback on grammar. Whereas when a document comes to me, for a thesis, I nearly take about a week or so to correct. But when it comes to online tools, it takes hardly few minutes. Okay, then it provides immediate feedback on grammar, spelling, and punctuation errors. So language checkers can highlight issues such as subject-verb disagreement. As I told you, many researchers may make mistakes when it comes to subject-verb agreement. Then using comma splices, then split infinitives, then double negatives, run-on sentences, and incorrect use of prepositions. So it points out where you have made a mistake, and there will be some highlights to show that maybe in colors to show that these are the mistakes you have made and this you have to correct. And there will be an option that you can use this instead of that, and if you want, you can use it. If you don't want, you can just ignore. Okay. Then if the checker finds an error, it will explain the grammar rule. As far as I have seen, some tools, they have this option. Why you have made a mistake there, what is the problem with that particular word. Okay, it will explain the grammar rule and may also offer a solution which the user can accept or ignore. As I told you, can accept or ignore depending on your knowledge. If you feel it is right, you can accept. If you feel it is not right, you can ignore. Okay, the checkers also highlight spelling errors and words that may have been confused. Okay, see, advanced language tools, they have this option. Okay, maybe if the sentence construction is not proper, it will highlight and show that can be written in a better way like this. Okay, then some grammar checkers also offer feedback on style and vocabulary usage. So there are some online tools that offer opinion on style and vocabulary usage. What kind of vocabulary you can use, how you can replace that particular vocabulary to this, okay, and what kind of style you can adopt, so on. So style is difficult to check actually because the intricacies of language require extensive artificial intelligence. And sadly, our language tools don't seem to have that actually. Now, it will take little more years for it to bring it to a proper shape, okay, where we have all the facilities. But some language checkers also claim to have this capability. Some language checkers also claim to have capability, but are not up to the satisfactory level, I should say. Based on my example, some checkers will flag sentences that are written with a passive voice or indicate that a particular word may have been overused. Okay, so it is that the research writing process should entirely be inactive. But writing in active or writing in passive depends upon the researchers. Okay, hence many grammar checkers actually aim to do more than just check grammar. An important point to note that is that grammar checkers do not claim to teach grammar. We have to understand that it does not claim to teach grammar. It is only a tool to bring potential problems to the writer's attention. It just points out that these are the problems in your thesis, and just you have to correct it, and it's your decision whether to accept or ignore. Okay. Then, apart from the so many positive things, there are also limitations in using language tools. Like any other technology, online language tools do have certain limitations, and these are well accepted. Okay. Researchers have concluded that most CALL, that is computer assisted language learning programs, use natural language processing with a process on syntax and few address semantic, pragmatic, and contextual problems. Okay, there are some tools with basic version up to premium version. The basic version will just highlight important mistakes, whereas the premium version will go for style, usage, sentence construction, and so on. Okay. So similarly, grammar checkers may also largely ignore the role of sentence construction in accounting for different ways to describe the same situation. Okay. So this is the problem with language tools. Maybe you would have written the sentence properly, but the language checker, when it works through the TypeScript, it will think that you have overused and it will just point out, whereas that particular sentence might be necessary for you. Okay. So, in accounting for different ways to describe the same situation, often regarding the differences between various constructions such as active and passive voice as a matter of simple syntactic transformations. However, a researcher may want or be required to write in passive form, because not always the researcher can be writing in active form. Sometimes they may want to write in passive form also, for example, in the methods section. So therefore, while some grammar checkers will warn the user about all occurrences of passive voice, the decision whether to use passive voice or not hinges on what the writer wants to do in the particular context. So it solely depends on the expert, the subject expert, whether to accept the correction or to just ignore and go on to the next. Okay. Then another opinion of researchers is that erroneous sentences produced by language learners are quite hard to analyze structurally, even with the current state of the hard grammar checking technology. Okay, see, actually, when, for example, I'll tell you, your guide would ask you to bring out your thesis in objective style, but you would have written, for example, you would have written in subjective style, and the grammar checker, when it works, it will not point out those mistakes. Okay, only when your guide points out that, then you will be knowing that this is not the correct form to use. Then again, you'll have to change everything. So these are some limitations because of this online tools. Okay. Then hence researchers who are in most need of language and grammar support may receive faulty feedback. Sometimes there are chances that you may receive faulty feedback, and if you have no knowledge about it, you may accept it. And finally, there will be a total change of meaning which would require to work on the document all over again. Okay. Then and suggestions from grammar checkers. So these are some limitations because of online language tools. The thing is, you'll have to, apart from having subject knowledge, you also have to have some knowledge about grammar and the way sentences are formed and structured. Only then you will be able to identify, even if the online tool shows some particular mistake or anything which you can't accept, you can just ignore and and go on to the next. Otherwise, if you accept, then it will become a big problem for you when you're submitting it to your guide or anyone. Okay, formally submitting. Then, what language learners should do? Reality check. The language learners, researchers should mainly understand that the key to effective writing and speaking is only through extensive reading and listening. Only when you read extensively and listen extensively, you will be able to bring out a correct form in your area of research. There is no magic way or shortcut towards achieving this. Okay, then any tool would only be an assisting factor in the process, and the masters are actually you who can decipher what is right and what is wrong. Okay, so tools will just aid, but the masters are you actually, learners. Then English is a language that gets its profound beauty through the minds of ardent learners, researchers, and many examples can be seen through great novelists, poets, dramatists, subject experts, and so on. So perfect writing is a result of continuous self-improvement. So along with working on your research, you also have to continuously improve yourself on how well you can bring in your research writing in a flawless manner. Okay, so it all depends upon you. Once you enter into the research field, you have to work hard towards that. Only then, with the help of the tools and with the knowledge which you have, you will be able to bring in a beautiful work. Okay, then. So now coming to the most important part, this most popular online tools for language correction. I have listed it in the order of importance. Here are some popular online tools that assist in language correction. The first one, as always, everyone's favorite is Grammarly, and then Hemingway Editor, then Checker, then Ginger, after the deadline, spellchecker.net, then online correction, Paperator, Language Tool, grammarcheck.me, Spellcheck Plus, and Correct English. So these are the top which people regularly use, and have rated the order of its importance. Okay, and usage. Now coming to Grammarly. The Grammarly is the most popular and widely used tool for many grammar, spell check, and punctuation issues. Okay, of course, if you ask any person what language tools he use, the first thing that comes to his mouth is Grammarly, because Grammarly has wide popularity, and even when you open any YouTube channel, there will be advertisements going on for Grammarly. Okay, so all over the world, more than 4 million people, students, teachers, writers, bloggers, comes to premium version. Okay, then Grammarly can find for more number of errors with Microsoft Word or other text editors can't do. More than others, Grammarly works in an advanced way. Then the free user can also be downloaded in MS Word software And from you can just try. For example, if you're new to Grammarly, you can just try by downloading it. Free version is available. You can download in Microsoft Word software or whichever document you're going to use. You can download it, and once you complete that, you can check for Grammarly. It will point out, okay, what mistakes you have made or where all you have to change your errors. Okay, then in order to easily check grammar on browsers. Okay. See, now this is how Grammarly looks. Have got only the basic version. I have not gone for premium version, so the basic version looks actually like this. So what you'll have to do is you'll have to upload the document here, whatever the document you have, research report or thesis or whatever. I don't know about the number of pages it takes, but there are some limitations. Okay, so you can upload your document here, and immediately what happens in few minutes, the corrected the document comes to this side, and you can open and see it would have pointed out the mistakes. You will see the next page. See, this is the document. Okay, so instead of despite this highlight, instead of off, you can, it says it seems that preposition used may be incorrect here. Okay, so you just can say despite the fear of piracy and cyber attack and its application. So these are the mistakes in its applications. Remove the space. It's all correct. Remove the space. You can maybe you have to remove the space and you have to put it in a proper way. Then here as you have to change the preposition. Then to change preposition, term correct article usage. Okay, so these are the things that it points out, and you can, if you feel it is right, you can accept and you can correct it accordingly. Okay, so this is how Grammarly works. And whereas in the premium version, you will have apart along with this kind of facilities, you also will have plagiarism checker where you can upload the document and you can click on plagiarism software. It will show you where all your where the sentences have been plagiarized. Okay, so that's one thing. And then now coming to Hemingway Editor, this tool is designed to improve writing style and make it as much clear as possible. It makes colored highlights. Okay, it makes colored highlight to indicate long or very complicated sentences. That is, it instantly uses color to show when the writing shows too many adjectives, sentences that are complex and hard to read, phrasing that are simpler alternative, and the use of passive voice. Okay, so this is a kind of tool which shows all this, and I'll be showing you the how it works. See, this is the Hemingway Editor app, where when you upload the document, it will show different colors. Okay, so if it is an orange color, the app highlights lengthy, complex sentences and common errors. So if you see a yellow sentence, shorten or split it. Okay, so when it will be given here. It will be given on the right side what actually the colors mean. Okay, then accordingly you have to change. Even now it depends upon the user to ignore or accept whatever the tool says. Okay, then you have adverbs meeting the goal of two or fewer, use of passive voice meeting the goal of two or fewer, phrase has a simpler alternative, one of 11 sentences is hard to read, then one of 11 sentences is very hard to read, like that. Okay, you have to go for this. Then the next will be duplicate checker. This is a free plagiarism checker that only requires to sign in to use all of its features. It is actually a free version. Okay, it is completely free and available 24/7, ready whenever it is needed. So whenever you want it, you can use this. This tool helps to avoid plagiarism, which becomes a personal assistant, meaning that you are no longer or may require hiring an assistant to check the article for originality. It has all the facilities. Because it is online and completely free, it can be used on any devices as ever reader. Okay, duplichecker.com has these ways. Copy and paste the text into the search box with a maximum of 1,000 words per search. Okay, it limits 1,000 words. Then or upload the document or text file using the choose file button. So I'll show you how it works. See, here you have to choose file, you have to select your document, and the document will get uploaded and it will be displayed in the box here, and it will show what mistakes you have made. It will highlight how many spelling mistakes and how many grammar mistakes and so on. Okay, so this is how this tool works. So Ginger actually it is a little bit advanced. Like this tool helps in correcting misplaced semicolons, comma splices. Very useful for punctuation errors, especially. This all-in-one communication app cooperates with all devices, so one can be sure that any messages sent have proper phrasing and impeccable grammar. Okay, if one needs to make sure emails, texts, and documents are perfect before sending them out into the world, feed the desired text into Ginger Page Premium, and its robust lineup of writing improvement features will do the rest. Okay, so this similar to Grammarly, it has all other features also, which you can use it to the best of its advantage. Then it is equipped with a grammar checker to call out any spelling or syntax errors, a built-in dictionary. It also has a built-in dictionary to ensure proper word usage, a sentence rephrasing tool to find alternative methods of expression, and then a translator that can convert your words into 50 different languages. Where you have to upload it in the space called Ginger. Okay, and the document comes to the box and it will highlight. Okay. And you can learn what is preposition, what example. You can have some knowledge about it. Okay, like that. Then after the deadline is also one more app where after the deadline is another free grammar check website to check writing papers. One can go to the website and just enter the details of writing on the given box and press the check writing button. So ATD helps to find complex phrases and suggest simple ones. Okay, for example, if the sentence is too complex, too complicated, too big, it helps you, it aids you to cut it short. Okay, it gives suggestion that you can use it like this. And if you feel it will be okay, then you can definitely adopt this. Okay, then locate passive voice. If you don't, if you have your too much of passive voice, maybe if it highlights and if you feel that can be replaced with an active word, definitely you can take the suggestion. Then root out hidden verbs, also called abstract nouns, nominalization. Then search for redundant phrases and suggest what to eliminate. Then find glitches and biased language, finds confused words, if, and, it, see here in research writing, contractions are not allowed. Okay, so if you have
Ma'am, your voice seems to break down.
tell me, sir, what is it?
Your voice seems to break down in between.
Oh, okay, okay. Uh, now, now am I okay?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's okay now.
Okay. Um, Then find confused words, a, and, it's, they, to, okay. Then your, etc. Then identify repeated words. We have repeated any particular word, then it will highlight and show you that you have repeated. Okay, then detect auxiliary verb agreement errors, spot determiner agreement errors, add certain wrong verb in infinitive phrases, and so on. So these are the facilities that after the deadline app has. Okay, and if you want, you can make use of it also. Okay, it is always better to have 2-3 tools in your desktop so that you can go for one, and for more satisfaction you can go for the other two also, so that you'll have a clarity where actually you have made, if you have really made a mistake, because some tools work differently. Okay, then so this is after the deadline app, where you'll have to download, and then it will automatically show, help you to identify the mistakes and all that. Okay, so this is how the thing works. Maybe you may have to pay for it, so that you will be you'll be going to through inside to upload your document and all that. So this is how it works then. So spellchecker.net, this app is available in American English, British English, and 24 other languages. It includes more than 1 lakh entries to enable users have the power to find more syntax errors, misused words, and punctuation errors. Okay, with this free spell checker and grammar checker, one can avoid simple and complex errors and create error-free text with confidence. Okay, so whether it is complete research paper or important business document, this tool can help avoid common mistakes, detect unnoticed errors, and help one become a better writer. So checking grammar and spelling are the last and most important steps to creating a well-crafted document. First, you have to identify all the major mistakes which you have made, that's the subject, the technical mistakes which you have made, and then finally you can come for checking grammar and spelling. Okay, only then it will be working out well for you. If you first immediately go for grammar and spelling and then go for technical errors, it won't work out fine. Then so this one, see, if you have written a word, it will highlight and show you that this is not the correct spelling, and you'll be guided to correct spelling which you can use it. So this is how a spell checker app is. Okay, then. So online correction, it is a free grammar and punctuation checker and corrector to find spelling as well as basic grammar and stylistic mistakes in English text. Okay, so like you can type the document, type the whatever the paragraph you have, you can type it here, and it will show you where you have made mistakes. It will highlight in colors and show you. Okay, so through this you can identify your mistakes and correct it. Then. So next, Paperator tool. This Paperator tool includes multiple options and check grammar and punctuation to the fullest. Okay, it provides in-depth analysis to help the student improve grammar and writing. The features of Paperwriter include plagiarism detection, autograder, spelling and grammar checks, style and word choice analysis, readability statistics, title validation, and vocabulary builder tool. The premium version is also available. Basic version and premium version is available in Paperator app. Okay. Then Paperator has the option to scan writing based on education level and the type of content submitted. For example, university research paper, business report, blog post, academic essay, etc. So according to different kinds of writing, it will help you identify your mistakes and how to use it in a better way. It helps. Okay. It aids you. Then, so now you can analyze your paper, or you can upload file, or you can paste your text here. If it is a very small paragraph, you need to check, you can paste your text here. And if you press this button, this green button here, it will highlight and show you. Or you can upload, if you want to check the whole document, then you can upload your file, and it will help you in this. Okay. Then language tool. The language tool is an open source software for checking grammar, punctuation, and online proofreading for English, French, German, Dutch, Romanian, Polish, and more than 20 other languages. It has the following features. enhanced grammar, punctuation, and style checking, up to 40,000 characters per text field, then suggestions to improve style and tone, detection of incorrect names and titles in emails, then detection of incorrect numbers, that is, for example, IBAN, ISBN, and so on. Then add in for Microsoft Word, add on for Google Docs, user management. So these are the facilities language tool has. Okay. So this is see weak adjectives. It points out to see he was very afraid of the consequences. So it shows say consider replacing the phrase with a strong adjective terrified. He was terrified of the consequences. That looks better, right? So instead of saying instead of putting it in a very simple way, like he was very afraid of the consequences, which is actually a wrong form of usage. You can say with the help of this tool, it says terrified. It's actually good. He was terrified of the consequences, which you can use it. Okay. So this is how language tool works. Then grammarcheck.me. This is not so famous document, but still I'll explain. Grammarcheck.me is a free online grammar and a web application that lets to check grammar, spelling, and writing style. It will improve writing by catching common grammatical, spelling, and syntax errors. So you have to upload your text here, or you can type your text, and you can click on the button. You can check your text, and it will highlight what mistakes you have made. So grammar check will work along with other language tools. Okay, but I don't think many people are using this. But this is also one form of tool. Then we have Spell Check Plus, where Spell Check Plus is another online tool for writing in English that identifies spelling errors and common grammatical errors. Spell Check Plus Pro offers several advantages over the free version. Just like Grammarly, where you have basic and premium version, Spell Check Plus also has basic and premium version. Okay, so if you want for basic version, maybe free premium, you will have to pay for it. Okay, then the next tool is Correct English. Correct English is a browser tool with iOS Android app that helps easily correct writing mistakes by checking for contextual and spelling errors, word substitution, and it has 63,000 advanced grammar rules. It works on browser and an Apple Android device to help fine-tune resumes, emails, social media posts, and more. Okay. So for this kind of writings, you can definitely use Correct English. So Correct English will help in significantly improving the quality and effectiveness of writing. It is a cloud-based software that provides with instruction and support needed to become more confident and skilled at writing. Okay. Yes, sir.
The participants to please mute their microphones while the presentation is going on. Miss Masrat, please mute your microphone.
Can I continue, sir?
You can continue with ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So this is how Correct English works. Okay. And like this is how the app looks. You can see writing that commands attention and helps you meet your goals. So you can go inside and see how it works. You will definitely have the option of uploading your document and will point out the errors which you can correct it. Okay. Then so now that we have come to the end of the online tools, see the success is making sure we have the right tool, and secondly that it is being used correctly. Okay, you have to ensure that the tool is being used in correct way. Apart from having your own knowledge, you have to use the tool as an aid to help you. Okay, to aid to in your document. Okay, only then you will be able to identify which is right and which is wrong. Okay. Then see, when it comes to editing and proofreading, when beginning to edit or proofread text, start with larger problems such as clarity and structure. So the clarity, structure, that's more important. Make your focus increasingly narrower. Then right from the technical problems, you bring it, narrow down your corrections to focus on your overall points, or argument, then come back to paragraph, then sentences, and then once you have edited for content, structure, and quality, move on to proofreading for grammar. So once you have edited, made the technical corrections, that this and all, then you can go for proofreading. Proofreading is the last part. Okay, you have to edit once you have made your document ready. You have to read again and again to see whether you have written everything properly, and only then you can go for proofreading. Proofreading, I would always suggest you take a printout of it and go through it line by line, because in the computer you will not be able to identify the mistakes which you have made. So it is always better to take a hard copy of it, bind it, and then make all the corrections, whatever, because that will work better than looking into the system and working. Okay, then the editing checklist. So you have to check whether the content is accurate, suits the purpose of the project, and follows all strategies. You have to ensure if the title is enriching, informative, and engaging. Okay, then you have to ensure if page is formatted according to the needs. Okay, then you have to ensure that you have a thesis statement or main point to your writing. Whether you have an introduction, whether you have a conclusion, you have a transition between the paragraph, then whether you have covered all the necessary points for you related to your topic, then all necessary information needed for my audience to understand my text is provided. Okay, because see, finally it is going to be readers who are going to give opinion on your document. So make sure that they understand it properly. Make your writing readable. Okay, then all paragraphs have one subject. Don't divert yourself to too many subjects. Narrow it down to one particular subject and see that you revolve your writing around the same subject. Then all paragraphs are clear. Then I have eliminated unnecessary words. Whichever words you have to read, maybe you can read aloud and see. And if you have found any unnecessary words, immediately you can eliminate. Okay. Then the tone of my writing matches to ensure that it matches well with the audience, whether the audience would definitely like your writing. Then all sentences have one idea. Then sentence length varies. Sentence meanings are clear. Sentences are active, not passive. But as I told you, passive voice is also needed in some parts of the work. Okay, but for that you need not write everything in the passive voice. You have to use only active form, but when it where it is needed, you can go for passive structure. Okay, then all sources listed in the work cited or bibliography have been used in the text, and all others have been deleted. Okay, you have to see that references and the references which you have given in your document perfectly match. If there are unnecessary references, you have to delete it immediately, because there will be a question why this is here and why it is not being included in your thesis. Then I read the text aloud to find awkward phrases. Then I edited the old document. So you have to have the satisfaction that you have edited the old document before you finally submit to somebody else. Okay. Then proofreading checklist. See, when you proofread, read through your text looking for easy to find errors such as typos and correct them. Then focus on more specific errors. Take extra time to look for errors that you make frequently, such as comma mistake. The comma mistake is the most common mistake which I come across in many thesis reports. Okay, unnecessarily there will be commas and it will interrupt the flow of the sentence. Okay, so that is called, we call comma splice and so on. So that we'll have to definitely avoid. Then the following checklist will help. You have checked for typos, then fix your spelling errors, then paragraphs are indented correctly, then industry standard stylistic guidelines have been followed, like citations, line spacing, page numbering, title pages according to your guide and according to the university demands. You have to see that this is all followed correctly. Okay, verified that any names or strange spellings are accurate. Check for sentence fragment. Then sometimes no, they will people will be writing a sentence and they will stop. It will be incomplete and then they will go on for the next sentence. Okay. Sometimes if you're lucky, grammar tool can point out. Otherwise, if it doesn't point out, then definitely that will be a mistake. Okay. So it is always better, even though you depend on language tools, you must have a subject expert, a language expert, where you can give the document. Once you have checked with Grammarly, you can hand over the document to that person also, and that person can take time to read, because after all it is a very very important document and it forms an important part of your career. Okay, so spending little is not going to it's not going to be much. Okay, so you can do that. Then word choice is accurate. Subject and verbs agree. Word choice is accurate, especially on tricky pairs that a text editor may not catch. That is your and your. As I told you, contraction. Some language tools accept contraction. Some language tools don't accept. And whereas your thesis, your research demands non-use of contractions. Okay, so there will be a problem with all this. Then check quotations for proper formatting, check colons and semicolons, no comma errors, all final punctuation is correct. Then I have not overused ellipses or exclamation point. Reread any long or complex sentences for hidden grammar errors. I have read the text front to back and back to front to check for proofreading errors. I proofread the old text. Okay, so when you're editing, you have to first edit whatever you need to eliminate, everything you have to do, and then finally you have to put back everything in a proper place. And once you have done everything, you have to proofread. Proofreading will be the last and final one. Okay, then tips for effective research writing. See, address arguments in one paragraph or throughout the body of the work, depending on the subject and the length of the argument. So, argument should be presented in a coherent manner. The flow has to be very, very beautiful. Okay, then it should be in such a way that readers can easily understand what you're trying to say. Then utilize transitional phrases to make the workflow cohesively. For example, furthermore, you can use this kind of word like furthermore, however, similarly, and all. Okay, each point of argument should be supported by factual evidence gathered. So, as you know, research writing is all about factual evidence. Okay? It is adding new knowledge to the existing knowledge. So you have to see that your document is supported by factual evidence. It will make your work safe. Okay. Then most of the work should be your own argument, but each point should have few pieces of supporting evidence in the form of citations and quotes. Then balance own information, citations and quotes rather than having all one type of information or another. So you have to balance everything. Okay. Then great research works are built on existing information or a topic. Most research works are assigned well in advance of deadlines. So you always, if you bring it to the last minute, definitely you will confuse yourself and you will confuse others also. So it is always better to plan well in advance so that you can bring in a proper structure to your research process. Okay, I always ask my research scholars to frame what do you say like timetable. Maybe that's a simple word. I forgot. They have to use timetable for from the day one they've started their research till the time they complete, so that they also will have a proper path to follow. Okay, so that will be better if you do that. Maybe one first few months you'll have to spend on presenting papers in conferences, then publishing papers in Scopus. Of course, publishing papers in Scopus takes a lot of time. That too, if you want to go for free ones. Okay, so you have to plan well in advance for that. And then the next years you have to work on the references, and then the final year you will have to bring out everything and put it in a proper format. Okay, so these are all the things you'll have to carry out. Then the length of research work will often be dictated by your teacher or professor. It should be proportional to the amount of research required. So then that's one thing. And then the last conclusion. Many researchers or rather ardent users of the online tool suggest that there is still a lot of improvement to be undertaken in the online editing tools. As I always pointed out, there is still a lot of advancement to be taken in the online editing tool. Specifically, according to them, most of the tools have failed to identify sentence structure errors, which is a major part of research writing. Okay, if the tools are much more advanced and good enough to identify what is actually needed, it would be of great help for all researchers alike. Okay, as said earlier, tools are just needed to assist in the work. while the master craftsman is the learner himself. By continuous reading and writing, knowledge can be enduring and it will also aid in flawless writing skills. Language is all about creativity. Okay, the more we read and the more we write, the better person we become with abundant creative power. Creative thinking and writing can definitely aid a lot to the research process. Okay, the best wishes. Thank you very much.
Indeed, ma'am, language is the key uh, for us in order to communicate our ideas, our findings. It's very, very important. And thank you, ma'am, for this very exhaustive presentation. It was highly informative, highly instructive as well. It made all of us aware about the latest, softwares, language correction softwares, or language correction tools that are available and which can be of immense help to us as we pursue our research. Uh, I thoroughly enjoyed this presentation, and I'm going to take these things to my research. I mean, when it is something that we all of us encountered during our research, when it comes to
Yeah,
giving
true.
appropriate language to appropriate arguments and findings. So it's something that we really can apply in our careers, in our academic careers, and can really prove beneficial for us. Uh, as you rightly pointed out that maintaining a standard grammar is highly important, not only for we those of us who are in the academia, it's also for all the people who want to convey their things,
Yeah,
their ideas, their
definitely.
information. Because if language, the form of language is not apt, even if your content or theme, your ideas they may be of the grandest substance, but if we don't have some sort of competence, some sort of command, or some sort of mastery or language, I mean, we won't be able to convey our ideas, our information, or we won't be able to propagate knowledge in the
Yes,
most logical or most systematic manner. So language correction tools are extremely important. All the language tools, techniques or softwares that you made us aware about, it was highly beneficial. Coming to the use of comma, which you discussed in your presentation, it's indeed, the use or misuse of comma. It's perhaps the most recurring error that we all of us commit.
yeah,
Even even while writing on social media, I mean, since most of us are part of academia, and we have to be very mindful of anything that we write or post anywhere, because we are being watched, and students are following us, so we have to be very mindful.
very
Just
true.
2 days back, I came across a tweet by a cricketer from the neighboring country. It was actually, he was expressing condolence on the death of Shane Warne, but he had forgotten to put a full stop there in that tweet, and just the fact that he forgot to put the full stop there, it disturbed the entire message, and it became a very viral meme all across the internet. So I don't think, I mean, there is a scope for us to do those kinds of things anywhere, and that's why it's very important to have some sort of competence or level on a language, no matter in what discipline we are pursuing research, or in what discipline we are writing. So thank you for this session, ma'am. And now I request all the participants that if they have any questions, queries, observations, or comments to make, they are free to do so, and ma'am will be more than happy to take the questions. Over to the participants.
Welcome with your questions, dear participant. Please put forth your queries so that I'll be more than happy to answer them.
Dr. Junaid, ma'am, who is our
Yes,
colleague
sir.
at Department of English, she has raised her hand. Junaid, ma'am, if you have any question, can go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. The sessions on FDP are going on in such a fascinating manner. that listening to the learned resource person is really an honor. My question to, am I audible?
You are audible. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, great.
Yes, ma'am, you're audible. Please go ahead.
My question to Dr. Harshini is that, ma'am, you have provided us with so many tools, language correction tools, available online that will undoubtedly make our research perfect. Okay, but don't you feel our ultimate product will lose its beauty as it will be generated from an automated system? Since it will be losing the manual touch of researcher, what are your views
Yeah.
regarding this? Thank you. Thank you
Ma'am,
so much.
you have the answer in your question itself. uh, you have pointed out that if you make use of tools, it will definitely lose its beauty. Yes, of course, if you have good knowledge about grammar and the sentence construction, you just can take it as a tool to help you really know if maybe unknowingly if you have made any mistake, then it can point out and you can correct it. If you be fully dependent on the tool, then it's definitely going to be a problem for you. Okay, so that is what I want to say. Mm.
Okay, it's answered. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Yes,
Julie,
ma'am.
for this question.
Thank
Any
you.
participant having any sort of question, query, or observation to make? I think this presentation is highly beneficial for our young learners, and they can, come up with some queries and questions if they have any, because very soon they are going to deal with all this stuff when they formally start their research.
May I, Bashar Saab? May I?
Definitely, please go ahead.
Yes, please.
Siddharth, sir, go ahead.
Just a just a few comments and a vote of thanks to the speaker from my side. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your extensive lecture. It was truly highly beneficial. I'm
Thank
sure
you very much. Thank
myself,
you.
our students here present, they must have learned in plenty while following this wonderful presentation. The best part of this was that your lecture was full of life. It was very exciting. And
Thank
I
you.
think a researcher or students in general must be aware about these helping tools, which come to us in the form of opportunities or accessibilities at hand. One thing which I want to repeat, that I understood from your lecture, that you rightly put out, that the reliability of these tools are, at times questionable. There are some limitations, into it, and they are fallible. They cannot be infallible. And I want to repeat, to this fact, to the welfare, of our budding students. Students, before going, for such tools, just remember that their reliability, can be questionable. Before, because endorsing, these tools blindly would sometimes, be disastrous.
Yes,
As ma'am also rightly put out, that we need to just to be proficient, ourselves, to get it done from ourselves at first. You need to be capable yourself enough, to decide what is right and what is wrong. So that was,
yes,
my observation.
definitely.
Thank you so much for this wonderful lecture. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. You have made a very good observation on my presentation, and I'm really thankful to you for your generous comments. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Sajad Saab. I think Dr. O.P. Sharma has raised his hand. Uh, O.P. Sharma,
Yes,
sir, if you have any question or any observation, or his or any other participant, uh, uh, I think let me take this opportunity to uh, ask a question myself to ma'am. Uh,
yes,
since
please.
the program is being attended by uh, uh, scholars and academicians and teachers from across the disciplines, Some of them belong to Urdu, some of them belong to social science, and some of them belong to sciences. Uh, Point is that, what about people who are doing research in, say, for example, Urdu or Persian or even Kashmiri? I mean, are there any language correction tools or any special softwares that you might have come across since you are an expert in the field, so that they can also, take some advantage and keep themselves updated with the latest evolving digital revolution?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I also understand that there are research going on in many other languages, but as far as language correction tools are concerned, I have no idea about it. I have to admit, because my area is only related to language, and so I have knowledge only about these language tools. Regarding other language tools, I think I'd have to go through what is available, and maybe I'll get back to you later about it.
And I have again one more question that is that's
Yes,
very related to what Junaid ma'am and Sajad Saab asked.
mm,
It's about, since most of us, we are part of English literature discipline, and
mm,
it's something, that we are often told to maintain some sort of novelty or creativity, originality. And I'm not talking about research here. I'm talking about, if, for example, we are encouraging the students, young students, to learn creative writing, for example, or they're in the stage of developing their creative writing. I'm not talking about research or academic writing. Even there we see some, too much technological intervention, too much digital intervention, though it's helpful, but I think that,
yes,
some in the line it's affecting the originality, the novelty.
Basharat, sorry to intervene you. It's helpful, but it's equally disastrous, as Sajad Rashid has said.
yes.
Yes, yes. So I
Sir,
want,
sir, actually, if you want me to answer this question, actually, I do accept that there are lots of sources available. Okay, but the thing is, no, we have to make the students go through everything and understand what is being said and use their own form of writing. Maybe they have to use their creative knowledge and they have to develop it in a better way. That is the only thing they can do for research, as far as research writing, especially when it comes to language and literature. Okay, because when creativity is abundant in language and literature, there definitely it will be well acceptable, and people will love reading the work more. Okay, so nowadays students don't want to read. That is the sad fact that I have to accept. They just want to copy and paste, and of course we do have that plagiarism problem. But even then, many try to escape from that. I don't know why, how, but we have to actually we have to make the students develop their creativity, develop their reading and writing skills right from the school level. The problem is, no, in the schools they give more importance to subject knowledge, like they'll have to give importance to maths, physics, and chemistry. And if the child takes up the English book to read, the parent or the teacher says, "Why do you have to take up English book now? Please, you when at the time of exam you can take and read it. All it's a very easy subject. You can easily pass." So this is the problem why students don't go for reading English books, especially, and they are always, and now schools have become what business hubs where they need only marks. Okay, so and this puts a very big negative impact. This brings a negative impact in the creative mindset of the student, which we'll have to, as language learners, we can't help, but we can only be giving our opinion in platforms like this,
Sorry,
that we
sorry,
need to
sorry to
improve
intervene you,
language.
ma'am. Again, I feel I
Yes,
personally
yes,
believe, though I may sound skeptic to all of you,
mhm.
but I personally believe that students or researchers will use these online available language tools as props. Getting me? since students nowadays they don't feel like reading, and now because of these tools they won't feel like writing. How will they learn? See, that's my question. How will they learn?
Yes, that is the
It's a
problem. That is the problem that as see, parents also should encourage children to read books. They have to get books for them, make them read, ask them to spend an hour or so for reading. Only then they can develop as creative individuals. Otherwise, what happens is they will have to do research just for the sake of doing research and not with full enthusiasm and interest. That's the problem. It's we I don't know how it is going to change, but definitely it has to change for the better. That's my opinion.
I think it's a critical challenge that we all face
Mm.
in
Yes.
this age. And I think again, it's something for the researchers to take up, whether they are, carrying out research in behavioral sciences, psychology, or even in the field of education. That they have to come up with ways and methods so that, I mean, there has to be a judicious use of technology. We can't escape that. I mean,
Mm.
you go to back,
Yes.
you have to go back to the Stone Age to escape that. We can't. So,
Exactly.
but at the same time, it should not
Mhm.
original,
Mm.
you know, original primeval human endeavor, and which is only which is that creativity and imagination. I mean, has to be fired in people.
Exactly, Basharat. And because of these tools, the product which I said earlier, it should not be cosmetic. It should not lose its originality because of these available tools. That's
So
what
that's
I
something
mean to say.
we have to deal with in this day and age. If any of the participants, anyone else has some question, some query, some observation, or some comment to make, ma'am is here to
Uh, if
answer.
there are any research guides here, please inform your students. Please request your students to read a lot. Okay, only reading will help them to bring out better research. Just copying and pasting and then
Definitely.
paraphrasing and all that will not help. Okay, so if you well, maybe in the first 6 months, maybe you can ask them to read extensively and develop their knowledge soundly, and then they can go for research. It will definitely help them to create a masterpiece, okay, for the readers especially, and that will aid future researchers to bring in more attractive pieces. So that is my sincere request to all research guides.
Thank you for that. That's highly valuable piece
Yes,
of advice. And the basic
yes,
prerequisite for any sort of writing, whether it's academic or
mm,
non-academic, journalistic,
yes.
creative, is that we must read, and we need to read a lot. Only then
Yes.
we can be good writers. Sajad Sahab has again raised his hand. You want to say
Bashar,
something?
yes, Bashar sir and Junaid ma'am, I want to add to your, discussion on creativity and want to take it a bit forward. At times I have seen that what students do is they copy the material and make it their own with the help of, these synonyms and other words that these softwares oft offer.
Yes.
That's why
Uh,
that's why we should not motivate
uh,
more our students to endorse these tools. Uh, you know
yes.
before endorsing such tools, we should make these things clear to them, because it automatically becomes disastrous at the end. The
Uh,
creativity we are talking about gets ultimately lost somewhere.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Your response to Sajad Rashid Sahab's observation.
uh, sir, I'm sorry I couldn't get you. What did you ask, sir? There were
Sajad,
some technical glitches. Can you please
Sajad,
repeat?
I said,
Sajad raised a point that there is
I,
also another side to these language correction tools. At times, we've seen students and researchers uh, at times, making use of these tools to paraphrase, just simply paraphrase or even plagiarize things in a sophisticated way, which is not what researchers should do. So, how do you tackle that kind of a thing?
Sir, that's what I'm telling you. As you maybe if you are a guide, you have to advise your students that they should not do this kind of malpractice. Okay, they have to use their own ideas. They have to use their own creative intelligence, knowledge to bring in, because research is actually creating something new. And if they're going to copy from something else, then what is the contribution they are going to make for the research? It is not definitely going to be of no value. Okay. So as I told you, people nowadays do researches for the sake of doing research and just for taking a degree. But very few people have genuine interest in doing research. And if you see their work, it will definitely be very beautiful. Actually, we have to practice this right from the beginning stage itself. And if it's going to be in the last minute, as I told, there should be a proper planning for everything. You should have, maybe you should allow for the first 6 months to read. Maybe what happens is the guide actually does not concentrate much on her students as soon as they register for their research. Just leaves them, and when it comes to doctoral committee meeting, just 2 days before, they warn the students that there's a DC meeting coming up. Please be ready with your topic. So the students, what they do, because this is the last minute, they do something and they just present. Actually, the guide, when as soon as the student enrolls with that particular guide, the guide has to ensure that students have proper knowledge of the topic. They have to, maybe they can ask the students to come and present something. Okay, rather than looking into the paper and talking, they have to present something. They can, the guide can test how much of knowledge they have, and she has to advise them to go and read more and more and come up with more points. Okay, so that she can understand that the students are well equipped now and they can continue their research. So that is the only thing that's possible now. Otherwise, can't help. It all depends on the guide and the student.
Uh, Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
We would have definitely loved to take more questions and prolong this very fruitful and very lively discussion, but for the paucity of time, there's already been 8:30, and I know many of the participants may be itching to leave. But let me take this opportunity to thank you on behalf of Amar Singh College, the organizing committee of the college, for this FDP, and Cape Comorin Trust Tamil Nadu. On behalf of the entire team, I thank you, ma'am, for giving us your valuable time and informing and
Thank
instructing us
you.
about
Thank
the
you.
correction tools, which is a very, very important aspect of modern day research. And it has been highly beneficial for all of us, which is evident in the way the presentation evoked questions and discussion among the participants, including myself. So I formally thank you for being so beneficial for all of us with your expertise. And in future, we would continue to look up to you to continue help us with your relevant expertise in the field. I also
Thank you,
thank
sir.
all the
It'll be a pleasure.
participants for their patient and very keen interest, and for their patient hearing and their interest in the session. And I would also request all the participants that the third day of this program is again going to start sharp tomorrow at 5:45, and I hope all of you. I hope to see you all of you there, and I once again thank Dr. Harshini Parshottam for this wonderful, exhaustive presentation. I thank you,
Thank
ma'am,
you,
and
sir.
all the best for you. And I also thank all other participants, and we hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Best wishes, dear participants, and happy women.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
And it's time to say goodbye. Hope you enjoyed the two sessions today, dear participants, and I hope to see you again tomorrow at 5:45. Thank you, and